excited for today's video because we're going to be doing some fall decorating in my living room. Today is an overcast, cloudy day, so I thought it'd be perfect to cozy up and decorate my living room for the fall season. I have so many affordable, beautiful tips and tricks as well as a few pieces of decor that I'm excited to be sharing with you and show you guys how I style it in my space to give it a very high-end, cozy feel, but on a budget. And if you're new, make sure that you subscribe down below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you really liked it, you found some ideas, maybe some decor pieces that you'd like to pick up for yourself for this fall season. And if this is your first time here, I have already made a few fall decor videos. I did some shopping at Hobby Lobby, Home Goods, and Kirkland's, and then I also did some fall prepping. So if you want some more details on how I plan out my decor and little mini hauls from different places, I will have all of those videos linked down below in my fall 2023 playlist. And yeah, that is everything. Let's go ahead and get started on this living room. Let's add a few simple fall touches to make this room nice and cozy for the new season. So if you are familiar with my living room decorating videos, you may know that I like to always start with this statement wall. So I made a video on this gallery wall. I made it for about $50 with some Amazon frames and showed you how you can do it yourself. So I'll have that video linked down below for you. Right now this wall just has some really neutral sort of spring and summer prints that I used for the past few months, and now it is time to switch them out for some fall prints. If you watch my fall prep with me for 2023, you may recognize these beautiful fall prints that I got from an Etsy shop. I want to say the whole pack was about 15 pictures, but I ended up picking out 9 of them for my frames. Of course, you can conform that to whatever space in your home you are decorating. So I'll also have these linked below. I thought that these were so pretty and I just got them printed in Walgreens, and I feel like they give that really beautiful, natural, vibrant fall color, and it really just sets the tone for the rest of the room, which is what I really like about this gallery wall. And speaking of these Amazon frames, they are not my favorite. One thing I do like about them is that there isn't glass in the front. It's actually a clear piece of plastic. However, the hardware on the back to hang it on the wall isn't consistent on all of them, which is why I sort of laid everything out on the floor and put it back on the wall exactly like this, just to make sure that everything was going to be as level as possible. But as you saw, I'm just taking out the old prints and holding the new ones in place with just a little piece of clear Scotch tape, just so that they stay in place and I don't need to worry about them shifting when they're hanging on the wall. Now that the gallery wall is all set to go, we are going to add in a few other pieces just to give this space a little bit more of a fall feel. So as you can see, I have that brass lamp as well as some brass candlesticks that are just going to stay there. And I'm going to add in this faux aged urn. One of you guys actually told me that you use this to make beans, I think, and it actually comes with a lid, but I did find it at a garage sale and gave it a little bit of a makeover. I can also link that video, but I just thought that was super interesting. And if you watched my Hobby Lobby fall shop with me this year, I picked up these beautiful yellow mums. I feel like they are so pretty. I love how fluffy mums are and the different colors that they can come in. I chose this beautiful yellow color because I don't really have any other pops of yellow in this living room, so I just thought that they gave that perfect autumnal feel, and they're just nice full stems, which I really love. Next, to finish off this vignette to the left, I'm just going to be adding this wood wick candle that I got from Hobby Lobby as well. I love the crackle of this. I've never owned one of these candles before. I've definitely seen lots of influencers use them in their decorating in years past, but I absolutely love it. If you don't have a fireplace like me and you want to be cozy for the holidays and for the fall time, I feel like this is a really good substitution. And that is really it for this corner. I wanted to keep it super simple and cozy. I wanted that gallery wall to be the focal point and then just add in a few pieces to accent it, and again bring in a few more of those fall colors. And I think this really helps to set the tone for the rest of the room. I'm also going to show you what it looks like in daylight when it was a little bit more sunny. And again, I'm just super happy with how this all turned out. Next, I'm just going to be adding a couple touches to this little green cabinet in the corner. Gonna add in some dried florals with another faux aged vase. I made the vase and then the florals are from Hobby Lobby. I believe they still have some that are very similar this year. There's already a little potted plant on there, and I just thought that contrasted well with the dried florals. And then this picture of our dog, which I just thought had some really fun warm tones for the fall season, so I thought that it blended really well with the rest of the colors we had going. And this corner of the room tends to get pretty dark, so I'm going to be filming this on my phone just so you can see how everything looks together and how everything coordinates. And a couple days later, I actually did get some when it was a bit brighter outside, so you can see how well all of the tones work together with the daylight. Up next is one of my favorite places to decorate in our living room. I call this the sort of reading nook, and it sort of sits next to our doors, and we just have this comfy chair from Wayfair as well as a little side table. And I just really like to change all the decor for the season, so we're just using a handful of decor pieces that I have on hand. Again, going for those very warm tones that are in the paintings on the wall, as well as just a couple neutral pieces that I'll be sharing. So first to the chair, I'm going to be adding this sort of corduroy velvet material pillowcase. I got this from Hobby Lobby and showed it in my haul this year, and I just made the fabric into a beautiful pillowcase, and I just love the texture and the warmth. Another thing that I tend to do seasonally is switch out these magazines and just sort of switch out which one is in the front. Since it is the fall time, I'm going to be adding this magazine to the front. It's a Magnolia journal and it has wheat on the front, so it just really goes well with those warm tones and just brings in that autumnal feel. This is such a simple way, as well as an inexpensive way, to add in those warm tones without having to purchase anything super expensive or elaborate. This is just something really easy to switch out for all of the seasons, and magazines are super inexpensive and they can also be really fun to look through. To the top, I'm going to be doing a pretty similar setup that I usually do for all the seasons. Again, I just sort of switch out the color schemes to match the season. I'm starting with a couple books that I thrifted, as well as this white picture on top, and then these gorgeous stems from Hobby Lobby that I picked up this year. What I love about them is they aren't necessarily fall stems, but they go so well with the fall feel. They have so much dimension and texture, and I just love how wispy they are. Another thing I do with fall florals is bend the stems a little bit just so they look a little bit more natural, and again, it just really helps give off that very whimsical outdoor feel, and I just really love the touch that this adds. It also has a little bit of brown in it, so I feel like it goes really well with the whole fall color scheme. Now to finish off this vignette, I'm going to be adding in this frame. I realized we don't have any wedding pictures of my parents in my house, or at least in the living room, so I decided to print this one off in black and white so it was nice and neutral. And then I just added in this marble coaster that I got from Home Goods, and this just finished off this space so nicely. There's a good amount of space so you can set down a drink or a book, but there's also some aesthetically pleasing items and textures, and I really didn't change up much from what it used to look like. I think having that bold pop of color on the chair pairs well with the neutral florals, and then that little pop of color with the magazine just finishes it all off. Now on to the couch and open shelf area. Again, I'm going to be keeping things super simple, using some things that I already have on hand and mixing in a couple touches of fall, and I'll be using some old items that I've gotten in years past, as well as some new ones that you guys saw me pick up this year. So for the couch, I'm actually keeping this the same that I had all throughout the summer. recliner. I love this mix of pillows. I love all the different textures and the colors. They just work so well together, especially with fall being a very cozy season. Those chunky knit pillows from Target just work so well. And there's lots of black in my living room, lots of little accents, so I feel like that sort of charcoal black gray color goes perfectly. And then I'll just be adding in a little sort of brown plaid lumbar pillow, and that just adds in again more of those warm tones that are going to be all throughout this whole living room. And since I went for a very sort of neutral fall, a very understated sort of look, I feel like this pillow combination just works really well with that. Now to the shelves, we're gonna add a couple fun pieces. I love decorating these shelves as well. It can be very tricky sometimes just because there's so many different directions you can go with it, but I love how it turned out. So I'm using another faux distress vase that I made in that video that I mentioned earlier. I have these stems from Joann's. I got these I believe last year, and again there's another simple neutral piece that worked really well with fall. So I bent all the stems together, that way they fit in that vase really nicely, and position those to one side of the shelf and just sort of fluffed them to make them look even more natural. And this frame is one of my favorite pieces I've ever thrifted. I love the antique gold look of it, and then for the fall time I did use one of those prints that came in that Etsy set, and I just love the barn and again the very beautiful vibrant colors, and it of course coordinates with all of the pictures on the wall. For the top shelf, I'm going to go for the very same sort of minimal look. So I'm just going to add my Made for Living book as well as another book that I thrifted a while back. And because it's fall, I had to add a pumpkin. I got this one from Hobby Lobby last year, and I believe they have something very similar to it this year. I love the very natural wicker material that it's made out of. And to the other side, I'll just be adding in this distressed dough bowl as well as some greenery that I got from Joann's. I'm just going to bend the stem so that it sort of sits underneath the greenery, and that just helps me to be able to lay it in the bowl and sort of make it look like it's a living plant. And I just love the way that this cascades down and just sort of balances out the height difference, the sort of staggering between the two shelves. And again, I love how this turned out. Super simple, just did a couple of vignettes on each shelf, added in a little bit of those fall colors, those oranges and reds, as long as some neutral touches. The next area of our living room is this little sitting area over on the other side. We have a matching recliner to what's over at the reading nook, an end table, as well as an old rocker. I believe that came from my grandma from years ago. But I'm going to be adding that same sort of velvet, corduroy, burnt orange lumbar pillow to the recliner. And something I love doing with this particular lamp is leaning books against it. It just adds a nice sort of visual interest because it's vertical. A little burnt orange candle as well as another marble coaster. And again, super simple, adding in a little bit of color and texture and interest. That way it doesn't look out of place with the rest of the room and the rest of the color scheme. And lastly, we are going to be looking toward the media cabinet underneath our TV. I've talked to you guys about this cabinet so many times. On camera, it looks a little bit more warm. It's actually a little bit more gray in person. So I'm currently on the lookout for something else. Something I tried to do here is do like a fall ambiance sort of video on YouTube. I love watching those, and I actually did watch those while I was decorating, but for some reason it wasn't going full screen, but that is an option if you're looking for something really cozy to play during the fall season. Now I'm going to be adding another distressed vase as well as these florals that I actually picked up from Target. I ordered these online. I saw them come in stock, and they're actually a new item from this year, I believe, and they're from Hearth and Hand. I got this whole bunch for I believe about $15, and I just love the faux red eucalyptus. And if you watched my video last year, I did pick up some eucalyptus in that sort of burnt orange sort of red color, and I got it from Hobby Lobby, but it was real. My mom is unfortunately allergic to eucalyptus, so I did need to bring that back. So when I saw that, I was so happy, and I snatched it right up as soon as it came back in stock online. So I put that next to our fishbowl, and as you saw, I put that little painting up against the vase. My great grandma actually made this, and it just again adds in those really beautiful colors. And I love how the black frame contrasts up against that white distressed vase. And then I kept the other side super simple. I didn't want it to be too busy, so I just added a picture frame as well as an old lantern that I thrifted and painted black. So super simple, and I just love how it complements the rest of the room. So here's a quick overview on how everything turned out. I seriously think that this is probably the best our living room has ever looked. There's something about those reds and those oranges, those warm tones that just make a space feel so special and cozy. There's just nothing like it, especially when you light those candles that smell so good and they just remind you of fall. There truly is no feeling that is more cozy and fun. So make sure you let me know which part was your favorite in the comments below, and let me know if you guys got any ideas or inspiration from this video. But I loved putting this whole entire space together. Alright you guys, that is going to wrap up my living room fall decorate with me. I hope it was nice and cozy, gave you lots of inspiration for your own home, and reassures you that you don't need lots of different things, lots of new things every single year to make your home feel super cozy for the new season. There were only a handful of things that I actually bought this year, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. I love keeping my home very neutral and very calming, but I do like to add in a few of those seasonal colors, such as those burnt oranges, yellows, and reds. But I hope you got lots of ideas today. But anyway, that is all that I have for you today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far, starting to get in that fall spirit a little bit, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye guys.